Good afternoon, wherever you are, or wherever you may be. Just a quick update. I finally got my Thunderhawk gunship yesterday and built it and sprayed it. For those of you in the know, guess which Legion I'm doing. Anyway, regardless of that, I'm also building some more stuff, trying to reduce the pile of shame, although you try to reduce the pile of shame with good intentions and it unfortunately increases slightly. Anyhow, today I'm going to talk about a writer of far-fetched fiction. For those of you overseas, you will not be familiar with this said writer. It's very basically he is in the same category, but he isn't the same as Terry Pratchett, which you may have heard of, who has done a lot of work. However, this writer has done just as much, and to be honest, I found his work easier to get on than Pratchett's work. That's just my personal opinion, and that's how I found it, because I did try to give a Terry Pratchett novel a go, and I just couldn't get on with it. It wasn't for me. However, for my 14 to 15 year old mind at the time, there was the school library, and I was introduced to a writer called Robert Rankin. Now, sadly, I don't think his work is available to actually purchase in book form. And what I mean by that is, you can still read his work, but I think all his work is online now. I believe mostly Kindle. The only problem is, I did buy his novel that was Kindle only, and I couldn't get on with it. The novel itself was fine. It was just a Kindle. If it had been a paperback, I would have hungrily gone through it. The Abominable Snowman was his first digital only. I was looking forward to it coming out from Teller's Palette Publishing. However, I don't know what the inside story is, but it was he changed publishers because for many years he went through Corgi and his hardbacks through Doubleday. However, he was going to go for a British company called Telos Publishing, which does many different writers. Unfortunately, that never came to pass. So sadly, now his work is purely in the digital realm. His name is Robert Rankin. This is the first book I ever bought of Robert Rankin. The first book I actually read was Raiders of the Lost Car Park, which is part of a trilogy of novels concerning the same characters and the, as you were about to tell them, the magical ocarina, which is it's not called the magical ocarina, but it's called the ocarina, where they drilled an extra hole through it, and then by doing it they managed to find a pocket realm. But that's something else entirely. Now, he does inject humour into his novels. This is the first one I actually bought, and I actually got it signed. Unfortunately, I had to part with my collection due to space again, but this is one of the ones I actually kept. So this this one I almost went for, plateaued. I think I was going insane, but that's not the case. This concerns a man who always wanted a dog called Princey. However, he starts hearing voices in his head, and the voice starts taking control of his body during the night and making a macabre version of a dog from Spare Parts. It does sound nightmarish, yes, but it's done in such a tasteful way that most of these novels concern a place called Brentford, which is part of London. Brentford has changed a lot in the many years since he wrote these. He talks about Brentford in great detail. However, things like the gasometers have now been replaced by the community stadium, for example. He does know his Brentford quite well, and all the pubs in Brentford, as he would probably like to think of himself as the drinking man's H.G. Wells. Anyway, through some very slightly crazy things, he manages to see. I'm pretty sure as an adventure, and might be wrong, because it could be Sproutmaster replica I'm thinking of, because it has been a little while since I read this. I'm going to reread this in the near future, because these are great. They have little stories in them which sort of connect to the greater narrative. He is quite amusing. Not everybody would necessarily find him amusing. Luckily, I managed to keep from my massive swathe of novels. I started buying the hardbacks when they came out, because I had the space at the time, and some of these I've still got. But he then wades into something where he does all the art for all the books, and the photography of the Hollow Chocolate Bunnies of the Apocalypse, which concerns a place which has several novels set in it, called Toy Town, where famous nursery rhyme characters and stuff get murdered, and he has to basically, as a detective who's a teddy bear, that goes around trying to investigate all these crimes, and all these guys have died in quite horrific circumstances concerning the nursery rhyme they've come from. I know this has been done in Hollywood, but this was done before Hollywood started doing such things. A lot of this work came before the like Shrek and things like that, because Shrek must have taken some what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration. The last thing I know of his work is he concentrated on an alternative version of Victorian London, with several characters that are in all the same books, with a talking monkey and an alternative version of Victorian London where the technology is all steampunk, basically. So he quite fell into steampunk. He wanted, I believe, to become a foremost steampunk fiction guy. I was lucky enough to meet him in about 1999, I think it was, or I think it was 1999, where at the time I could only afford this, because the book prices went up by £1, which to a 17-year-old version of myself is just a little bit too much at the time, as I wasn't in regular work at that period of time. So very good. If you ever get a chance to see Robert Rankin, he still does meetups and things these days. I have kind of fallen out of touch with that, because he's also had a club. It used to be called Sprout Law. However, I think it's now the Golden Order, the Order of the Golden Sprout, I believe. He might have changed that since then. He has easily, I'd say, about 40 to 50 works in his name. Unfortunately, for the likes of myself, I don't like Kindle. Kindle's a great device. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely fine. But reading books and stuff is just on it. It's just not for me. It just doesn't feel the same. I mean, this is from somebody who read a hell of a lot of books in the last 30 years or so, and most of them were paperback. I just can't get on with a Kindle. I have Kindle, and I may try and finish The Abominable Snowman, because it was, last time I saw it, getting pretty good. So I don't want to leave it there and we'll give it another try, charge it up because it's been sat in a case for many years. Not gathering dust, but not really doing much. Because I would like to catch up with a lot of his works, because there are many characters that appear in many novels. I think the last one is an 8-book saga. The Brentford it used to be called the Brentford Trilogy. However, it grew with kicking off with the Anti-Pope, the Brentford Triangle. I think it was like East of Ealing, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. And then obviously you've got several others after that. I believe Knees Up Mother Earth, in which Brentford then wins the FA Cup, which is a football event. But yes, it's obviously concerned Griffin Park, but Brentford doesn't play in Griffin Park doesn't exist anymore. It's now been replaced by the Brentford Community Stadium. The only reason I know about this is because London Irish used to play out of Brentford Community Stadium, which is a shame because it was a nice stadium. It used to play out of Reading, but anyway, I digress. He has got many series of novels. They're worth a try. The Armageddon trilogy is okay, but it's not where I'd start my journey. I would probably start with the Brentford trilogy, even though it is like 8 books or 9 books now. The only other thing is I don't know if they're still in print. I haven't tried looking for any of his books lately because obviously I know that he's not printing anything anymore, so it might have gone all digital now. Now, I understand that he wanted higher royalties because he's got a life to live just like you and I. But I think making it digital was a bit of a faux pas. I think that he saw the future and he thought, yeah, I'll do it this way. But there's a lot of us, I know, it uses resources to cut down trees or recycle paper to make these, but these are something with a little bit more flair, a bit more passion put into them, and it's a shame that he went digital. As a writer, I definitely recommend it. If you like your Kindle, then add these guys to your list. He has many novels on the Kindle, but as I said, I'd probably give Armageddon the Musical 1, 2 and 3 a miss until you've read a few more of his stories. Some of them are standalone, like the Fandom Operator, for example. So the Fandom of the Operator, which is, I can't remember, I've got it, so I need to reread some of these soon because as I've said, I've still got a few of them in physical format. But yeah, I'd definitely give his work a try. If you want something different, something with a lot of pop culture references, one of the references that comes up a lot is like the gun that Blaine had in the Predator. You know, if you've seen the Predator, you know exactly what gun I'm talking about. And on that note, this concludes another video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'd like to get my subscribers up a bit. I know I'll keep begging, which I don't like doing, but yes, please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Wherever you are, whenever you are, have a good day. You're all doing great.